All right. Hi, everyone. We are Love and Confetti, the show where we talk about love and everything else. I'm Arion,
I'm Danny.
and welcome to today's episode. So, I just wanted to start off before we talk about, the topic today. I just wanted to start by saying thank you to everyone who's been super supportive to us and, giving us great suggestions and great ideas and just really great comments. And, thank you for being a part of this every weekend. It's amazing. We actually have people watching every weekend, and it feels nice to know that there are people looking forward to the next episode. Yeah, we're really, really thankful. And for anyone who's new here, you can follow us in Spotify and Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, Facebook, and we also have Instagram. We have an Instagram page where we have clips and stuff. So just please, if you want to get updated or if you want to send us suggestions, we're always welcome to those. So just follow us everywhere if you could, please, and thank you.
And don't forget that you can increase the playback speed for this episode in all episodes, so you can listen to this at 1.5 to 2 times the speed if you're pressed for time.
If we talk too slow for you.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into this episode. So today's topic is all about flirting.
Ooh, hi baby.
Okay, so first let's talk about what is flirting? What is your definition of flirting?
I would say flirting is a form of seduction.
So every time anyone flirts with you, they're trying to seduce you?
Well, I mean, seduce doesn't always have to mean that you get that person, to the next step. But sometimes you can just flirt with someone, and it's a minor form of seduction, right? So you say something nice, or you lock eyes and you try to make little gestures, little movements. Then it is a little bit of a form of seduction, in my opinion.
And why do people flirt?
Well, I think several reasons.
Like what?
Well, first of all, it's fun, okay? You gotta admit, having this
fun.
back-to-back, I don't want to call it a game, but it's very playful. And it's kind of like you're playing with desire. So it's back-to-back. So I can tell you kind of like me, and I can I'm showing you I like you, right? So then it's this ooh, ooh, ooh. And then you feel good about yourself, and you also feel good, that you're sharing this moment with someone, right?
Yeah.
So for me, flirting is fun. What else? Well, of course, it's not just fun. You kind of want to get to the next level.
What is the next level?
Depends on what you're looking for, I imagine.
So would you consider yourself a flirt?
I think I was a bigger flirt when I was younger.
Really?
Yeah, I was a super flirt. I'd flirt with any girl.
Huh? So I caught you when you weren't flirty anymore?
No, I still flirt with you, but I'm a more mellowed down version. Because I feel flirting sometimes comes off as a bit you're not serious about, you know what I mean? So So flirting is a different kind of gesture. If you're serious about someone, you don't always flirt. You do other things, right? You give them gifts, you give them, you kind of court the person.
Yeah. But before, do you think you were known as a playboy?
You know what? That's kind of true, but it's also an unfair assumption because I wasn't really a playboy. So yes, I would talk to girls and I would flirt with girls, but I never, or at least for many of them, because the ones that I actually dated was fine, but I never got to the point where I would do something with a girl and then leave them hanging,
okay.
Right? And then I wouldn't force them to do anything with me. I wouldn't say things that would lead them on. I would just kind of flirt, oh, you look nice, you look beautiful, blah blah blah, simple things, right? Because I feel it's very unfair. I don't like leading on people, which I've actually done unknowingly. I've done it by mistake
okay.
Because of the flirting. But you see, flirting shouldn't always translate to leading on. You can flirt lightly, you look nice, you look beautiful, but how do I say this? Basically, don't take it as oh, he's into me. Oh my God. Okay, I love him now, right?
Yeah.
Or I love her now. She's flirting with me. No, sometimes flirting can just be that. It can just be flirting and nothing more than that.
Yeah.
So I think that's what happened. I unknowingly led some people on.
Yeah, but that happens a lot, and it's it's kind of unfair because where do you put the blame? It's is it on me who assumed that you were flirting with me, so you were interested, or put the blame on the flirt?
And that's the thing, is it wrong to flirt even when you don't want more? I mean, honestly, I don't think so.
Yeah.
If I had to go even extreme examples, but there are married couples who flirt with other people.
Yeah.
And it's not like they're cheating on that person. They're just kind of having fun because, they still want to feel desirable. They've been married for how long? And, someone young finds you attractive and you're like, okay, I'm kind of going to go with the flow with this, right?
Okay.
Like my parents, for example, they've always been flirts because they're performers, right? My dad's a musician and my mom was in the band of my dad. And they would travel all over the world. They had all eyes on them on the stage. And the fans, the admirers my mom and my dad got, both each, was intense. It was incredible. And my mom in particular, right, because my mom's very beautiful, she would have men buy her drinks and chat with her for hours after the session ends, right? The set ends.
Yeah, but what would your dad do?
Well, in the beginning, I think my dad was like a little bit jealous. Right? But then he's kind of like, you know what? It's part of the showbiz, right? You kind of have to let it happen. So in the end, I think my dad just had his own girls as well. But you see, they didn't do anything behind each other's back. It was kind of happening in front of them.
Yeah.
And it was just playful flirting.
Yeah, but it's a good thing na lang that
and they were very mature about it
issues.
Too. Yeah, exactly. They were very mature about it.
Yeah.
So I think flirting can be harmless. So I don't think people should try to put taboo on flirting. Sometimes people think like, oh, when you flirt, it's bad. You're already showing that you want this. You shouldn't flirt and lead people on. But honestly, like, it can be very harmless. And I don't think there should be this taboo on flirting.
Let's take it way back to like when we were younger. So like what was your first memories of flirting?
Honestly, I was a very bad flirt in the beginning. Because I was a super shy boy. I was actually extremely shy.
But when was this? Like, how old were you?
I'd say even up to 14 years old, I was really shy. Yeah, I only got like a little more confident in myself like around 16, I'd say.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's when I was like flirty.
Okay, but like
I was
first
just
memories.
a very confused boy.
Or like first blunders.
I remember trying to flirt with a friend of mine. Oh my gosh, this is really
this in high school?
Yeah, this is in high school. This is one of my friends. I had a crush on her. And at the time, I didn't know a thing about relationships. I didn't know anything about flirting. So I kind of just professed my quote-unquote love for her via text. Yeah, that's all I did. I kind of just...
Wait, do I know this? Do I know her?
Yeah, you know her. I'll tell you about her later. Anyway, and then I just messaged her. I'm like, yeah, I really, really like you. Can we go out, please? Just like that, right? You're really wonderful. You're such a kind person. I was just really confused. I didn't know what I was doing. And then I remember she was like, okay, we can give it a shot. Like, we can try to go out. And then I remember on the first day I see her, after that text, I think I hugged her from behind. I was just like, oh gosh. Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I thought, like, okay, she said yes. so
like, you thought she was your girlfriend now?
Kinda, yeah. I mean, I'm 14. What am I supposed to know, right? So she was like, she kind of froze up. She froze and she's like,
this is in school.
This is in high school. And people were looking at us and were like, what's happening there? That's so weird. She might listen to this podcast, actually.
Wait,
This is...
Huh?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I didn't know. No, I thought it was...
No, babe, you can actually not delete that. And you can just bleep it. Yeah, so they see your reaction.
Oh my god. Wait, I'm so shocked.
Anyway. And then it's really funny because we look back at that because I'm still really good friends with her now. We just ended up becoming really close friends.
Yeah.
And then we look back at that and we're like, I'm pretty sure she's listened to this podcast before. And every time we talk about it, she's like, yeah, you were such an awkward boy. But don't worry, I was also a really awkward girl. So,
because kind of okay. You've never said that. This is the first time I'm hearing this story.
I just remembered it, actually. It's really funny. So that was one of my biggest blunders, I would say.
Oh, God.
In high school. Yeah. I was completely... I was not smooth at all. That's the reality. I was not smooth. After that, I kind of learned my lesson and I improved. What about you,
nothing
babe?
happened with her?
No. Nothing ever happened.
You never went out?
After that, she broke up with me.
Aww.
and told me that she's, she doesn't see this working, blah, blah, blah. And then I think the problem was she had a crush on another classmate the whole time, so it wasn't gonna work. It was really funny because we actually became close after that. Anyway, good times. Your turn, babe.
My turn? I don't have interesting flirting stories, I think.
No, but like, what about blunders and stuff?
Blunders. Okay, so like in the past, because I came from a very, very small school. Like we were literally my batch, we were 7 people in my batch, and we were like, it was the same 7 people, give or take a couple of people who came and went. It was the same 7 people from grade 1 until fourth year high school. So there was no one really like to flirt with. There was like, there was no romance. Everyone was like brothers and sisters. And even with the lower years, there was no one. And we were like the oldest in the whole school. So it was like every time we would move up a year, they'd make that year for us. But then, like during high school, like we had like crushes and stuff, but it wasn't romantic. Because there were people that they kind of just like teamed you up together and they tease you and stuff, and you kind of develop feelings. I don't know why that was a thing before.
Yeah, that always happens.
I know. So yeah, I had this one guy who they'd always team me up with and stuff. So I kind of like developed a crush, but our flirting was kind of like, it was all banter. And it's always just like teasing each other and stuff. So I wouldn't like consider that flirting. So maybe that's where I learned. Because when I flirt, usually I'm playful and like I like the banter. So I don't know if that caused my my flirting
that's
style.
Actually a form of a form of flirting.
Anyway, so my first like out of school experience with like flirting was when this is so embarrassing. Okay, so one summer, my friends and I went to China for like the study tour. And it was like my school and Sacred Heart and Ateneo. We were a lot of people who we went on a program to China. So that was like our first like inter-school experience where we met people from everywhere else. Because like we were like a very small population. So we were kind of like, whoa, new people. Anyway, and then so there's like one guy. When I look at him now, I'm kind of like, what the hell were you thinking, Danny? But then, I don't know why.
Do I know the story?
This is the guy.
Oh gosh.
I know. I think I liked him because he was like one of the only people my age. Because I was the only person from my batch who went, and everyone was kind of younger. And it was so funny because I'm close with like a lot of the people from my school who went. So I'd tell them like, yeah, I have a crush on this guy. So like every time he'd pass by during meals and stuff, every time he'd pass by, everyone from the table would like look at him as he passed by, and then they'd look at me, and then like they'd whisper and stuff, or they'd give me looks, and I'm kind of like, stop it.
Oh god.
I know it was like that the entire 2 months. And you know how there are crushes where you're kind of like confident and you're like, you can talk to them and stuff. This was not one of them. So for this one, like, I literally freeze up. I didn't even know how to talk to the guy. Honestly, if you look at him now, he's not anything special. I really don't know why I froze up. I don't know why I got nervous. But yeah, that happened. And then I don't know why, but like when we came back, I don't know how it started. But we started texting. It was so weird. And then I think I invited him to my birthday one time. And I don't know, it's so weird because you know how before they just say like, what are you doing? Nothing. What about you? Nothing. Oh, cool. You know how people texted like that before?
What are you eating?
Yeah,
spaghetti.
It was so gross.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. It was always like people would say WUD. W-U-D. What you doing? Do you remember that?
Really?
Yeah.
No, I never did that.
Well, during my time, it was always like what? It was like, during the era of, is it called Yahoo Messenger?
Yeah, Yahoo Messenger. Yeah, it was Yahoo.
Where we would like,
I used Yahoo Messenger.
Yeah, you would buzz people. I'm sure all the Gen Z kids who are listening to this are gonna be so confused. Yeah, like, basically what? Yahoo Messenger was the messenger of 2012. No, 2008.
Yeah. 2008, babe. Yeah.
Yeah.
2006, 2008, around that era.
God.
Around that time.
Anyway, so wait, sorry.
What happened? What happened?
Okay, so I invited him over to my house during my birthday because I had like this neon party thing, and he was the only outsider who I invited, so it was like so obvious. And when he actually came, I was kind of like, God, I don't want to talk to him. So like I don't think I talked to him the entire night.
That's so sad.
I know. No, because I was like, I told you I was nervous. I didn't know how to talk to him. I didn't know.
Poor guy. And then what happened? He probably died after that.
Yeah, but he was friends with some of my friends, so I guess like they entertained him. I don't know. It was so bad. I think after that, it kind of just died.
Yeah, I would imagine it would.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so sad. Oh, poor guy.
That was so sad.
He's like, he shows up excited to see you, and then you don't talk to him the whole night. I have something funny, actually. A funny experience where I wasn't even the one flirting. It kind of like, she led the way the whole time. I was in high school, and my parents and we went to a family friend's beach house, right?
Oh wait, I know the story.
I think you do, yeah.
Okay.
And I actually have two stories from this that's incredible. Like, it's you won't believe it. So I'm in this beach house and there are a bunch of people my age. So, you know, a bunch of girls, actually all girls my age. There's not a single guy my age there. I was the only guy there. Yeah, and everyone kind of had like a little house.
A cabana or something?
This is a very big, yeah, so this is a really big beach house. Not a beach house, like kind of like a little resort for just this family, right? And so we were all assigned rooms and stuff. And I remember the girls' room was like next to our room.
How convenient.
Right? So basically, I'd walk out and I kind of just sit outside, mind my own business. And then the girls would talk. So then eventually they started talking to me and, you know, we kind of like just chatted and stuff. And, gosh, there's this one girl in particular. She was extremely sad. Apparently, some guy was doing something or like, you know, talking to other girls or something. I don't know. I don't know the full story there, but basically she was really sad and she kind of had an episode. So
define episode.
So we were just so basically she was talking to everyone and then suddenly she disappeared and we were like, wait, where did she go, right? And she comes back running. You know, it's pitch, by the way, setting, it's pitch dark, okay? It's like 2 a.m, so it's kind of creepy. And she comes back running. She has like a stone, like a sharp stone in her hand. And she kind of like looks at us with like a deathly stare. I'm like, is she going to hit us with that? and so the other 2 girls were actually her cousins, right? And so I think one cousin went to sleep. So it was just me and the other cousin talking and this girl, right?
Yeah.
Okay, to make it easy, I'm just going to call her D. So girl having the episode is D, and other girl that's with me is G. Okay, so D is having an episode, and she looks at us with a deathly stare, and I tell G, like, is she going to hit us with that? And she's like, I don't think so. And then she runs off, and she goes to, like, the cliff of the beach resort. Like, there's like a little cliff that goes down to the beach. And she kind of, like, rocks back and forth, holding her knees, and then we walk up to her. I'm like, hey, are you okay? And when I think when G touches her, she stands up and runs away, and then she goes down to the beach, right? And then she swims in pitch black water. I mean, it's kind of crazy.
Was she on something?
I have no idea, honestly. So eventually she goes to, I think there's like a little cove next to the beach.
Did you help her?
Across the water. No, the thing is, I didn't want to get wet. And neither did G, right? She's like, you know what? Nothing's going to happen. Don't worry. So G tells me, okay, let's just go. Let's leave her. You know, right now, she needs to be alone. So we go and we leave her behind. Kind of mean if you think about it.
Yeah.
But I guess she knew her cousin better than I did. And then G takes me to the beach, like on another side, okay, completely isolated. And I think it's already like 5 a.m. or something. And we were starting to watch the sun rise. I'm like, wow, this is really nice. And then for some reason, G looks at me and then she kind of like starts touching me and stuff. I'm like, whoa, is this happening? And then she kisses me.
Okay.
Yeah, she just straight up kisses me. And then I was really happy because I found her the prettiest girl in the whole resort. Like, I really had a crush on her that whole time. So I had no moves. I had nothing. I was just kind of like, okay, I'm getting this. No. Anyway, next day, D leaves early that morning. She leaves ahead. So it's just me and G left.
Okay.
So I remember like I was with G and we would like spend the whole day together. The next day we were spending the whole day together and she was doing all the moves. She'd hug me from behind. She'd she'd kiss me. She'd play with my hair. I was just like, whoa, I feel so pampered. Anyway, that was like a really nice summer romance. And then eventually I think we texted for a bit and I was really sad because she was very unresponsive to my texts.
Aww.
But going back to the whole D thing, why did I mention D? So basically, one of the older cousins brings it up to my mom, of all people, okay, that D was having an episode.
Okay.
Okay. And my mom was really worried. Like, you know, she's like, God, is this girl on something, right? And according to the older cousin, D was doing all this to get my attention.
Huh.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I know.
What kind of attention?
I mean, she sure did get my attention, but I don't think it was the kind that she was expecting.
God.
I don't know. And then eventually, it's funny because eventually I ended up with her cousin, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. That was really funny.
Or maybe
anyway,
she was pissed because you were interested in the cousin.
I don't know, because I didn't even show that I was interested in the cousin. I was kind of just talking to all of them neutrally. Anyway, so what happened to me and G? Eventually, I remember doing what you did. I invited her to my birthday party and she didn't come.
Aww.
Yeah, I was so sad. I remember listening to Imogen Heap the whole time because she sang it to me. So I would listen to Imogen Heap and I would be so mopey. And then, like, fast forward to the future, G now is into girls. So yeah, so it's actually crazy. So I don't know, maybe I was just an experiment, and then eventually she realized, like, oh, I'm not really into this. That was one of my experiences where I had no control over what was happening when it came to flirting and everything.
What about, like, a good experience?
A good experience?
Yeah.
Okay,
like a successful experience.
I'd say one of my successful experiences was going out with a girl who was 10 years older than me. Babe, I'm telling all the stories.
No, because you have more to tell.
Okay. Basically, this was New Year's of, I think, 2014, 2013, something like that, okay? And we were in a party, and it's really awkward because this was a family friend who invited us to this party, okay? And her friend at the time was 32 and I was 22.
Mm-hmm.
But she was like, whoa, like I was just like, whoa, this girl is hot. She is gorgeous. So I arrived with the family, and I had my little brother with me. It's not a very attractive setting for a girl, right? Especially an older girl. You see a family.
Yeah.
So it was very awkward. I don't know how I did it, but I had a few too many drinks, and she had a few too many drinks, and I think I was just kind of like talking to her and kind of telling her about like my acting. I don't know. She was very interested in me, which is kind of like the opposite,
but who made the first move? Like, who approached who?
I did.
You approached her.
I approached her, and I was talking to her, and I was kind of like, I think the liquid confidence gave me that boost, right? So I spoke to her, I approached her, and I kind of like did my moves, right? And then I think we just kept drinking, and then I don't know how, it's kind of blurry right now, but eventually we ended up in the backyard, kind of just smooching.
God.
Yeah, and she is 10 years older than me, and I remember it wasn't really private because her friends were peeking through the window, and they were like, oh my gosh, what's happening? I think my mom's friend was like, Victoria, that's your son. That's your son. And then my mom's just like, oh gosh, like, why do you have to make a scene in a party? Anyway, eventually, I got her number, and I asked her out. And I felt so, I don't know how to describe it. It's like she was in a completely different wavelength from me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we went out. She decides the place. Okay, she decides everything. This was in Manila. Meet me in Makati and blah, 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 right? And she takes me to this coffee shop. I'm like, okay, this is where we're going to spend the date. Mm-hmm. And then basically this coffee shop had like a hidden entrance to a
hidden bar.
Yeah, it had a hidden bar.
Okay.
So I was like, whoa, this is really cool. And then she just starts talking to me. And instead of really talking about herself, she's very interested in me. So, usually it's like the opposite.
Yeah.
Usually it's the guy. Exactly. The guy doing this. But it's like she had her moves, right?
Mm-hmm.
She just kept asking questions about me. And I kind of was like kind of mesmerized by her. And when it was her turn to talk, I was like stunned. She tells me she's a UN ambassador.
Yeah.
She does like charity work around the globe. She lived in Afghanistan for a while. I'm just like, what the hell does she want with a guy like me? I'm just a kid. Anyway, I remember like she was just like so commanding. She was so confident and so commanding, and I was kind of like stunned. And I remember I was starting to feel really cold. And this is like the most embarrassing part for me the whole night. I was starting to feel cold. And she gives me her jacket. And I'm just like, wait, what? The roles are kind of reversed here. That's when I truly realized the roles were reversed. She was one of my best dates. I wanted to see her again before she left for Afghanistan, but I couldn't because I think she had to go to Bohol or something. But it's really funny because we didn't have Messenger. We didn't have each other's Messenger. She was texting me, telling me about her experience there. But it wasn't really like flirting or like I miss you or anything. It was kind of just like, telling me about her time there, and I'm telling her about my time, like what I've been doing. And then she'd even send me like pictures via text. That costs. That costs money, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just like, Yeah, so I'm like, whoa, okay. And it was just a very short-lived but very interesting experience. I was successful in the beginning, but again, I had no control at the
Yeah.
end. Yeah.
This is the girl
Okay,
I got
babe.
jealous over actually. I think that was the first
Yeah,
time I ever like got legit jealous. And it was funny because like you know how you tell me about your exes or like
yeah.
like your most recent ex, like the one you thought you were gonna marry and stuff. And I was just kind of
Yeah.
like, okay, cool. And then when we were starting out, I think you told me na your ex texted you. This is another ex. Like she was like calling you and stuff. I was like, okay. And then you tell me about this girl, and like this is the first girl I got jealous over.
Yeah, I don't know why. I
I
really
don't
don't know why.
know. Actually, as you were talking, I kind of felt like a twinge, little
Huh?
twinge.
Really?
I don't know. I
I
don't know
I my
why.
baby. Anyway, so babe, what about you? Like,
My flirting experiences before were kind of casual. So, like for example, people I'd meet at a conference or people in the club who or people I got introduced to, and then I kind of like just talked to them for the night, and then like that was it. And then
mhm.
it's not like I liked them in that way. Like I wanted to develop something with them. So it was kind
Mhm.
of like just like a one night thing, and you kind of like flirt and you laugh, and then you don't see each other anymore.
Okay, well, I think you've had successful stories. I mean, we got together because of our flirting, right?
Yeah.
I think we were quite flirty.
Okay, so do you think like if we met in the past, do you think we would have gotten no, how do you think we would have been like
You
if
think
we
we would
met
have
in the past?
smooched?
Yeah.
Honestly, probably. But it depends on the setting too. I mean, honestly speaking, like me personally,
Yeah.
I'm very
Aggressive?
I'm like aggressive and confident when I have some form of alcohol in my hand. Because otherwise, I'm very shy. I'm actually a shy guy. Yes,
You are?
I'm quite shy. I mean, I try to show that I'm confident, but in general, like I kind of get shy with the way I'm talking, my words,
Mhm.
right? But with alcohol, I don't think about those things. So I kind of dumb down and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go in there. And even if I fumble, it's like I don't care as much when
Yeah.
I drink.
Yeah,
So
but
if the setting was like in a club or a bar and I had a bit of beers
yeah,
or,
I'm sure we
you
would
know,
talk.
we would have talked. I
Yeah.
definitely would have gotten you a drink. I would have asked about you, flirted with you, say you're very beautiful
But
or
like
very
I don't know how I
sexy.
would have responded though.
You want to role play?
No, no, but no, I'm just saying like past me. I don't know how I would have responded because the way I flirted before, I wouldn't be super in your face flirty. It's kind of like a
Mm-hmm.
subtle flirty. So I don't know how I would
Mm-hmm.
have reacted to all like your direct comments
Oh yeah, that's
or
the
like your
thing. Like I'm
aggressiveness and
very
stuff.
direct. I'm very
Yeah.
direct. I don't know if you guys watched that movie called Crazy Stupid Love.
Mhm.
But I was kind of like Ryan
Ryan
Gosling
Gosling?
there. Yeah, with a couple of beers, I was kind of like Ryan Gosling, and I'd approach them and I'd be like, "Yeah, you look really nice today," blah blah blah, or "What are you doing here?" I remember, I remember I'd flirt with girls that I just walk by in the sidewalk
Are you serious?
sometimes. Yeah, I'd walk by and like, "Oh, hello there." And then actually many girls would be like, "Hello there too." And then we just walk past each other.
But this is in the Philippines.
No, no, this is like in Hong Kong
Anywhere.
and
Okay,
stuff.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I was quite flirty, but I always had to have a bit of a beer or something just to get myself a little loose.
I feel like I'm an Emma Stone. So you know how like when she finally went to his place and then she was like super nervous and she was like babbling. I feel like that would have been me
Yeah,
if you flirted with
yeah.
me.
You babble a lot. I
Yeah,
mean,
I know.
what?
I know.
In case you girls or guys haven't watched this movie, it's really good. I
Yeah.
recommend it to
I
everyone.
made you watch it.
Yeah, she made me watch it. It's really nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the thing is, I think we did do some flirting, some form of flirting when we were starting out.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I think you were actually you were initiating with the messages. And you're quite
I
flirty
was?
with your messages. Yes.
Like what?
Well, I mean,
I remember that like I initiated 20 questions, but the reason why I wanted to start that is because I didn't want any awkward silences and the times you don't know what to say. So at least there was always
mhm.
like that backfall of asking a question.
No, but I remember like you'd always have a follow up, a little slide comment there.
Yeah.
You'd slide in a comment there, for example, I think I sent you my Halloween photos, and you'd be like, "Oh, you look really handsome there," or something. You'd have your little flirty moments, right? And
Remember
then when we
lang?
finally met, we were definitely, doing a little bit of
Yeah.
moves, right?
I feel like I'm better in person, but on text I can be very aggressive. But like, you know how it's like you're confident because you don't have to say it personally. So it's like you can say anything you want anyway. It's just a message. But at times can get like really shy also.
Yeah, no, I remember in the beginning, I think we told the story a million times in this podcast, but basically when I went in for our first kiss, Danny was hesitant. And I think that's really your nature. Like you're not used to that aggressiveness from my end, right?
Yeah.
But the minute we kissed, you kind of let loose and you were like after every date, you were very flirty already. You were every date, you're kind of just relaxed and you're like, okay, you always bat your eyes and twirl your hair.
I was doing
really,
that?
Yeah,
I wasn't consciously doing it.
Well, it's still subconsciously you were doing
it. I didn't know.
Yeah. Anyway, so I remember we were pretty flirty in the beginning. It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
But now it's actually funny because now we're already almost 2 years together, guys. And we have our lobbing moments, but lobbing is kind of like sweet words and stuff. So what we do is like every now and then Danny goes, "Speak to me in Spanish."
Yeah, because it's sexy.
So I'd go up to Danny and be like, "Hola, mi amor. Eres muy guapa. Y quiero besarte mucho." Anyway, so I think that's how we flirt these days because we don't have much going on with COVID and everything.
No, there are times I ask you like, babe, let's pretend we're in a club. How would you flirt with me?
Yeah. No, this is the worst. Danny asks me to role play out of nowhere. Okay, so I have to do this whole role play. And the thing is, I'm doing my role and she's just there giggling. I'm like, babe, you gotta flirt back. And she's like, wait, I can't focus. So I'm like, hey.
Yeah, we're always like, okay, babe, imagine we're in a club and, we haven't met yet and I'm there in the corner and then I'd always be like, and then what would you do? And then he'd be like, well, I'd go up to you and I'd offer to buy you a drink. And then
I start asking about her and then I'd make like little comments here and there. And then I'd probably add a couple of like, you look very beautiful tonight. And then every time I tell Danny to, okay, your turn, your turn. And she's like, wait, no, I can't.
No, because
I can't.
I feel like I get speechless. And also, I get really
just
kilig.
role play.
Yeah, also I get really kilig.
So that's pretty fun. Okay, so I wanted to ask you, what is the best thing I've ever said to you when we flirted? Or like the thing that's most memorable. The most memorable thing I've ever done during our like, dating phase and stuff.
Off the top of my head, this isn't like a flirty thing. It's just like one of the most memorable. Off the top of my head. Okay, so I think it was maybe 2 weeks after we met. And then, we were always calling, always texting and stuff. And then you would like say, I miss you. And I'd kind of be like, okay. I wouldn't even say it back. And then there was one time where you were like, can I ask you a question? And then I kind of felt like it was going to be serious because you don't normally do that. I think I said, only if I can not give you an answer if I don't have one yet. And then you're like, okay, I guess I'll just record it. So you sent a recording of yourself. Do you remember this?
Very embarrassing moment, yes.
And then you sent me a recording of yourself. And it was, I think, like maybe a 1 minute recording. It was like, hi, and then like long pause. I just wanted to ask, I don't know how else to say this or something. I don't know what you said. There were a lot of pauses, a lot of like, beating around the bush. And then I think you kind of just ended with like, so do you see something positive going on here? Or like, do you see a future in this? And then, I don't know, like, and then,
so embarrassing.
And then when I played it, I let Athena, my cousin, listen to it. And she was like, is he purposely trying to make his voice sound husky?
Oh.
Because your voice was like really like low, kind of like Batman.
Like this?
Kind of, but like nervous.
Yeah.
I remember because we were having dinner then. We were having dinner and then you sent that to me. And then I went in my room. I was in my room while I was listening to it. And then I think after I heard it, I was kind of like screaming to myself. I was like, I don't know how to reply to this. Like, what is happening? What is happening? And then I called Athena and that's when I made her listen to it. And she was like, oh my God. And then she said, like, you sounded like Batman. But after that, I literally like turned off my phone. I was like, I cannot handle these emotions.
Crying for past Arion, waiting for a reply.
Anything else to
add? I think we spoke about a lot of things. Do we have a loaded question for today?
Yeah. Okay, drum roll. Loaded question of the week. Is it okay to flirt while you're in a relationship? To flirt with
Okay,
others, I mean.
I actually addressed that earlier. Like I said, flirting can be playful. It can be light. So I'm gonna actually go with yes. I'm sorry, babe, if you disagree with me.
I will
And
go with yes, but with boundaries. And I
exactly.
feel like this all depends on like your dynamic as a couple. If you're not cool with it, like if you're if you know that you have the tendency to be like celosa and stuff, then no, and you should tell your partner that that's not okay. But if you're kind of
Hmm.
like us, we're kind of chill, then go for it.
Yeah. No, like I agree. I think that when you flirt, you have to have that boundary. You cannot, let it fester into something more. It's just flirting, guys. This girl's pretty, this guy's pretty, handsome, and
Pretty
you
handsome.
know, and you're just sharing this kind of moment, like this, kind of like, ooh, this feels nice moment, right?
Yeah.
But then in the end of the day, you have to remember who you're with, and you got to remember your priorities, right? Like,
Yeah.
are you going to trade, a night of fun? It's one night over losing somebody who's potentially your future.
Hmm. But like, how do
I
you?
don't agree.
There's a thin line between like being friendly and flirting. Because sometimes like when you're friendly and then your eyes light up and you're really excited and you're super into the conversation, and the other person kind of takes it as flirting, and it kind of is, I guess, like to an outsider, because like, why are these two like so back and forth with the
Hmm.
interactions?
Yeah, like you said, like there's a friendly flirting where you kind of enjoy it, but you're being friendly about it.
Yeah.
No, but I think the thing you're trying to address is legit flirting. Like, is it okay to legit flirt with someone while you're in a relationship? For me, there's boundaries. Like, for
Okay.
example, let's say you're in a party with your significant
Mm-hmm.
other, right? And let's say you're talking to your friends and there are girls approaching me. Then, yeah, I'll be a bit flirty. Maybe they'll be a bit flirty with me. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to ask them for their numbers.
Okay.
Okay? So that's already a boundary. You don't cross that boundary. You don't
Yeah.
ask them for their numbers. Or if you are going to add friends, you're not going to message them. You're not going to talk to them
Mm-hmm.
after that event. You know what I mean? You're not
Yeah.
going to flirt with them or message them. That's too much already.
But what about like liking other people's photos? Like, for example, like let's say you met a girl at a party and then you kind of like you got along and stuff. And let's say you kind of flirted lightly and then you follow each other on social media after that, and then like you like each other's photos and stuff. And like, what if they react to your story? And then it opens up like a conversation.
I think that's okay. Honestly, for me, that's okay because as long as it doesn't fester into something more, it's fine.
Okay, fine. What about
Okay, what about this? Let's say you meet a guy, okay? Because we're always doing it in the me setting.
yeah,
Okay,
okay,
let's say
fine.
you meet a guy, a very handsome guy in a party, okay? And then, you flirt and everything. And after that, you add each other on social media and stuff. But, you don't really talk.
Yeah.
And every time he reacts to your story, he doesn't just react. He also has a little comment like, oh, so
Yeah.
beautiful, so guapa. Is that okay?
I feel like that's okay.
Yeah, right? That's what I mean.
But
So
I
it's just
wouldn't
comments.
Yeah, but I wouldn't like
Do the
encourage
same.
it. No,
Yeah, I mean,
maybe I would do
exactly.
the same. Maybe I would do the same, but I
Yeah,
wouldn't.
but maybe you comment guapo or
Yeah,
nice suit, something.
yeah. I wouldn't like super converse where it would turn into like we were messaging each
Exactly.
other now.
Exactly. So you see, so there's a difference between conversation and it's continuous, and then suddenly you start to lose interest in your significant other and you start to grow interest in this other person. That's the boundary that you just crossed because you opened up that opportunity to talk and stuff.
So, but
But
like,
if it's just light flirting, like, oh, you look good there, then that's fine. Honestly speaking, that's really harmless.
where would you draw the line between flirting and kind of cheating?
Like I said, communication, like really constant communication. Put it this way, you're alone, I'm not there, someone's talking to you, you're kind of talking, your eyes are bright because, oh, he's attractive.
Mm-hmm.
And you're kind of flirting, but in a friendly way, that's fine. But if, let's say, you're with me and every opportunity you have with me, you're texting him, that's not fine.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
see, so it's a different kind of communication. It's the kind of communication that you're giving it more importance than your partner.
Yeah.
And that's a really good point. For me, flirting when you're in a relationship and just in general, flirting is a living in the moment experience. It's a in the moment experience that you just feel giddy, you feel happy, you feel a little bit light. So whether you're in a relationship or not, it's just that in the moment experience. But
Yeah.
after that little experience, if you continue it, that's not no longer in the moment.
Yeah.
You see, it's something you're seeking. It's something you're actively looking for, and
Yeah.
the boundary you cannot cross.
Yeah, it's like your intention is kind of to lead it to something already.
Exactly. So just be in the moment. If it's a be in the moment experience, fine. If it's like little likes and comments after that moment, that's totally like harmless and fine. But if it's constant communication, hey, when am I going to see you again?
Yeah.
That's not fine. That's already cheating. That for me is completely incorrect.
Okay, but like, let's say I flirted with someone at a party. Would you expect me to like tell you? Yeah, but am I obligated to tell you about like every person I flirted with?
That's a tough one, actually, because it's either depends on how your partner takes it.
Yeah.
Like, if it was completely harmless and you know it's not going to be anything more, it was just that once in a blue moon thing, and you know your partner is not going to take it well, then why do you want to hurt your partner's feelings, right? I mean, people will look at this and say, oh, but that's lying, that's cheating. No, it's being considerate.
Okay.
And it's not like you did something awful behind that person's back. You just lightly flirted. Okay? But that's the thing. It might be awful to that person. So you see, it's also case to case.
Yeah.
Maybe light flirting is a no-no for many relationships. And like, if it was you and me, I'd be like, yeah, babe, tell me about your day. Oh, did you meet any good-looking guys, right? And you tell me all the time.
Yeah.
You tell me about the time you met like this actor in Manila, and then you tell me about the time like somebody was flirting with you in I think it was what, Prague or something, or where was that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you told me about all those things, and you felt giddy and you liked it, and I just took it well because honestly speaking, for me, and this is just me, people, okay, this is like how I see it. When people flirt with your person, it just brings their value up because like you know that your partner is desirable. You know that like when people flirt with Dani, when people slide into her DMs, okay, I just know that it's because Dani's beautiful. It's because she's gorgeous and because she's desirable. People want to like talk to her. They want to flirt with her, right? And for me, instead of being jealous and controlling and, you know, all upset about it, I'm just like, cool, go ahead. In the end of the day, she's my girlfriend. You know, other people can look, but they can't touch.
They can't touch.
Right? Exactly. So for me, it's fine. Like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So I feel like it really just depends on your relationship, your dynamic, you know, your level of honesty with each other. And as long as I guess like you trust your partner, that your partner's not gonna do anything, and as long as you know, trust them enough to like know their limits, then it should be fine. But if it's not, then it's cool. If you only want to flirt with each other, then that's fine too.
So verdict, babe, do you enjoy flirting?
I do.
Oh, here's a loaded question for you. Have you flirted with anyone while we were together?
I don't know. Wait. You're putting me on the spot, huh? I feel like I have, but not.
Oh, wait, no. I know the answer. The guy in Prague.
Not Prague, babe. Cologne.
Cologne. There you go. Why don't you tell them the story? We wrap it off with that story.
Can I direct the question to you first?
Have I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who?
I think a few.
Huh? Who?
But the one I remember in particular, like in person, I was in Madrid and there was a very cute girl who was serving gelato.
Oh, you told me about this.
Yeah, and she was just very cute and stuff. And then, I don't know, I kind of like flirted with her a bit. And she flirted with me. And I remember like she kind of like, you know, twirled her hair with me. And then she gave me extra ice cream. So I was like, yeah, that's right. So that was pretty good. So it was really fun. That was a fun one. But yeah, just harmless. Why don't you tell about your cologne?
I wasn't flirting with a guy though. I think. I feel like Athena will tell it differently. So for Christmas of 2018, me and my cousin, we had a mini Euro trip. And our first stop was in Germany, in a city called Cologne. And we joined a pub crawl. So that's when you know, go from club to club with a certain group and then you drink and you party together and stuff. And we were with a group of Mexicans. Okay. There were 2 guys and 1 girl. And, you know, at first, like me and Athena, we were like interested in this one guy. He kind of looked like Ashton Kutcher. So anyway, we had a few drinks and then the music came on and then everyone started dancing. And I feel like because we were maybe like 6 people lang in that small group. So it was like literally just me and Athena, the Mexicans, this one guy, and the group leader who was kind of our age also. So, you know, there was no one else to dance with, no one else to talk to. So we just talked to each other. And then the music started playing. And then, like Latinos, they're very, it's like when the music comes on, they dance. And they don't just like dance, like, step side to side. They go like full on, they twerk, yeah, or they salsa, and they literally like, they perform. So anyway, I think they saw me and Athena. We were kind of just like, side to side. They were like kind of like, hey, we're going to teach you how to dance. And we were kind of like, okay. There were 2 guys and there was me and Athena. So we had like 1 guy each. I think they taught us first like how to salsa and stuff. So they were like, okay, you move it like this. And they had their hands on our hips. Don't get jealous. So we were kind of like, okay, so this is how it's done. And then they, the dance, the bachata.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you're very close to each other and you kind of, So they taught us that. And I think it was in that moment, I was kind of like, hey, I kind of feel like there's this tension in the air. I think it's, because, it's a very intimate dance. Anyway, long story short, the next day, Athena tells me like, I've known you all your life, but I've never seen you dance like that. We weren't like super flirting because we were a group. But, we'd have like, I guess, mini moments, like conversations that was like just us. But in general, it was a group setting. And I feel like it was kind of like an on and off thing. Like we'd flirt for like 5 seconds and that was a group thing. So it wasn't like him and me and we had like this intimate moment or something. It was all just fun. And even Athena danced with him. I danced with the other guy. So it was all like really casual. And I think, like it's very normal in their culture to just like dance with whoever. Because I think at one point he even danced with this old woman. I think he just like took her and he was like spinning her around. I think he dipped her or something. And after that, like the old woman was kind of like, whoa, like who is this guy? Yeah, but I think that was like my instance.
Sus? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I don't have to wrap this up now.
No, but that was fun. That was a great story, babe. Anyway, so I hope that we've shared something useful and a lot of personal stories, guys. I hope you enjoyed some of them. Thanks so much for sticking around, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's episode.
We'll see you in the next podcast.
We'll see you guys. And don't get too flirty after this episode, okay? All right, guys. So that's it for today. I'm Arion.
I'm Dani.
And this was Love and Confetti. Goodbye.
Bye, guys.